And finally, leaving the tit for tat business that we have with Britain because we continue to suffer from some kind of a complex. We have this again, C. Rajamohan, India and the Anglosphere. He says defense cooperation between US, UK, and Australia highlights the opportunity for Delhi to develop a unique set of arrangements with Washington and its allies that will strengthen India's national power. We can't do it with China, we can't do it with Russia. Let's agree to that, right? What is of interest to India is something else. That AUKUS marks a significant change in US regional strategy for the Indo-Pacific. In the past, the US sought to promote regional security unilaterally through its own military capabilities. As it comes to terms with the enormous scale of military challenge that China presents, Washington is now eager to boost the strategic capabilities of its allies and partners in the Indo-Pacific. And there is where it's at. And when you go there, you says, eye on China, Australia to get 220 Tomahawk missiles from the US. What about promoting our BrahMos? China warns AUKUS allies of nuke submarine deal. That's funny. AUKUS may transform the Indo-Pacific sphere. It most certainly will. With focus on Indo-Pacific, India and Australia assert needs for stronger defense and trade ties. Right? US warned India of Chinese incursion, says report. Now that's interesting. India, important partner of choice. US ahead of NSA level talks. This was a while ago. Can't confirm White House on report that US provided intel to India to repel China. Now, when you say you can't confirm, it essentially means you did, right? India, US can work together on emerging technologies, Pentagon official, okay. IAF chief says must develop space capabilities. Who better than to partner but the United States? Fact, this is the important part for India. When people talk about Chinese Navy being stronger than India's, this is what they forget. We have huge force multipliers in information that comes in with our new agreements with the United States. This is one of them. Pact on air info sharing soon, US Secretary of Air Force. Exploring co-production of high defense equipment, including jet engines, and that leaves the Chinese and the Russians way behind because their jet engine technology is primitive at best. And as is there are the sea assets of China. They're not as big as they want. There may be lots of them in numbers, but their quality, and then you got to think about the geography. People talk about, it's not like a chess game. It's like a chess game, right? When you look at the number of ships, right? They might be important when you're covering a huge area like the Pacific, right? When you're looking at a smaller area like the South China Sea, if you see the geography and you see that Malacca Pass, you realize you really don't need those numbers. Where the hell are those numbers going to? Just imagine a herd of buffaloes running into a canyon. And when the canyon narrows down, what happens? You can sit at the other end and keep shooting. Or think about the salmon when it's doing the run, right? When it's coming up, guess who's waiting there? The grizzlies. They just keep eating them. That's exactly the state of China's navy as far as India is concerned. And believe me, we may not have the same number of ships, but qualitatively and geographically, we have a huge advantage in the seas. And for all those guys who argue with me on that, this is one thing that I'm going to put out there, and let's see whether you can respond. Human rights issues in India, US report. This is going to keep bothering us, whether we like it or not, because like I said, domestic politics is going to play hell into our ambitions to become a global player. US condemns vandalism at Indian consulate. It's a punishable crime. India, Australia look to boost minerals trade. And here again, Australia becomes a big player for India as far as minerals is concerned, especially lithium, because it's got one of the largest reserves. It can help us reach what we want to do to become a player in critical technologies in the EV space, absolutely, and the solar space. That is what's important, folks. These are the relationships that are developing. This is the shake and bake that's happened this year. A lot of it, right? Xi, Putin, MBD, the Iranian fellow, the two Korea and Japan, India and Japanese, Japan and Ukraine, all out there, folks. Anybody who thinks the United States is done and dusted, may want to rethink that whole plot again, man. May want to rethink that whole plot again. Jai Hind and 3 cheers.